So we're going to start by coming through Montferrier. That is the main village. And we're going to follow this road. I love this map. I love it because it's got so much detail and it just makes things look really exciting. Okay, so we follow this road. I might have missed the track already. I think I did. So what we do is we go back up. Oh yeah, here. So this little white track here, we engage it there. This is just a rough piste, like a dirt track in the forest. We're going to drive along this dirt track, and eventually, wait, other way. I'm so sorry, I'm lost. Lucky we have a map. Okay, we're following it here. This is the way. We're not going to get lost when we do this for real. Oh yeah, that's it. This is where we're going to park. Right there. That's the end of the track, more or less. And then see this red indicated chemin, this path. We're going to follow this path. There's the trout lake where they do breeding of trout. We'll pass that. We're going to continue climbing up. I think here, this whole area there is an old quarry, abandoned. We'll have a look at that. And we're going to follow this up and up. Oh, what does that say? Vache. Vache? Cows. Interesting. Okay, follow the crête. All the way. It's about 6 kilometers in total till we reach the Pic du Saint Barthélémy. So, a little bit of information on the Pic du Saint Barthélémy. It is 2,348 meters tall. Interestingly, the mountain has been the site of megalithic structures, and although we're not going to get to pass any on our route, there is a menhir on the Pays Col. There was once a dolmen as well, but unfortunately it's been dismantled. And Saint Barthélemy has been the site of solar cults for millennia. It was used by villagers in the surrounding valleys. And once a year in the autumn, the villagers would all ascend the mountain to the peak of Saint Barthélemy, and there they would perform fertility rites. They would perform these rites right up until the sunrise. I'm excited. It's a beautiful mountain, and it's got great views in every direction. It really stands out on its own. So the trail to go up to Saint Barthélemy, it starts here, beside this lake. The lake is a fish breeding lake, specifically for breeding trout to release back into the river. And there's a cabin on the other side of the lake. I'm not sure what that cabin is, but I'm going to go and have a look. So it's a really sweet little cottage. So usually cottages like this here in France are used either by the shepherds, or they're a refuge for walkers, or in the case of here it could also be the building where the equipment is stocked for the fish research and breeding. So I've been giving a lot of thought to what it means to be authentic, to be an authentic person, authentic to myself. And at the base, really the foundation of that is honesty, is brutal, simple honesty. I have to know what I believe for myself. I have to know what my values are. I have to be honest about them. I have to be honest about how I feel. I have to be honest about my emotions, about my heart. Connecting to my heart is something I'm only now beginning to learn how to do, to really connect with those heart emotions. But then to acknowledge them, to not be afraid of what they're saying, to know my needs, what is it my heart actually needs, and not be afraid to express it. Because in the past, I was too afraid to say what I needed. I was afraid that if I really said it, it would mean compromise. It would mean loss. It would mean the person I'm with will maybe step back, step away. So I didn't express what I wanted. I didn't express what I needed inside. Instead, what I did was the total opposite. I put all of my needs in a box and I just tried to identify with what I perceived to be the needs of the other person. And I spent my whole time just trying to fulfill those needs. And those needs became my needs. And with that, bitterness and a little bit of resentment, but mostly just an emptiness, a feeling that I was hollow, that I was, that something was missing for me, there's something I was not being nourished with. I mean, listen, it felt good to help. It felt really good to fulfill the needs of another person. But there is another level. There is a deeper level to what I need. And that was not being met. And that is nobody's fault but my own. When a man is truly authentic, when he really knows who he is and what he is, what he needs, life is different. Okay, it's enough chat. Let's keep walking.
Our best friends.
Ah oui, les Français et les Anglais.
In regards to the rugby.
Ah, yes.
Le crunch. Le crunch.
Ouais, les Anglais et les Français avec le rugby, c'est un jeu.
Oui, c'est un jeu.
C'est un jeu.
Okay, so another refuge. I think let's have a look inside and see. Oh yeah, there's a mattress. Oh, it looks a little bit used, but I'm sure it's comfortable on a cold, stormy night. You're freezing cold. And this is the only place you've got to shelter from the storm. And what's this? Fireplace. It's black. Trust me. Oh yeah. It's a fireplace. What have we got here? Oh, sorry. Supplies. Things people have left behind. What have we got? We got Merlot, wine. Delicious. More wine. Yeah, plastic bidon. Salt. This, salt is white gold. Bags. Really good. Everything one needs to get comfortable. This is the view from the chalet. Lucky, they've got a fantastic view. Okay, I'm just going to take a pause for a minute because I had a message come up on my phone. And it's from a dear friend. And I'm just going to take a minute to listen to it and hear what she has to say. Just for some context, she came into my life, I don't know, like 10 years ago, maybe 8 years ago. And she really impacted me strongly. It was at a time of a lot of change for me. I was separating with my partner, the mother of my child, and this woman, this incredible woman, just by being who she is, all of her peace, her kindness, her patience, her curiosity, it gave me something to keep going on what at the time was a very difficult path. And out of that came a connection, an intimate, complicit, tender connection. But these last few years, I allowed it to die out. And out of the blue, she messaged me yesterday. And it's funny that she messaged at this point again in my life, when again I'm going through a crazy transition phase. Sometimes the universe is very strange in how it plays us. Anyway, I'm going to read the message and then I get back to you. So I just listened to her message. It was really beautiful. She shared a little bit about what's been happening in her life. It's interesting. She's a secure, attached person. I wish I was secure attached. It was so hard being anxious, being triggered that way, having to go through these emotional roller coasters. And it's weird because I never had that before. It was only with my ex. And something about her fearful, avoidant nature that triggered this anxiety. The hot and cold, the emotionally available and then emotionally unavailable. And it sent my ANS crazy, fully in the sympathetic nervous system mode. I wish I had been secure. I mean, hey, if she had been more secure, and this is absolutely no fault, but if she had been more emotionally secure, she would probably have been able to absorb some of my anxiety, up until a point. More importantly, if I had been more emotionally secure, I would have been able to absorb her hot and cold up until a point, but I was just not in a place where I could do that. And I look at my friend from Switzerland who just messaged me, and she had a beautiful relationship with a beautiful man, and then they separated, and there was pain and there was grief, but it was not the end of the world, and there was no anger and hatred and terrible stories, and then she found someone else, and she was able to continue her grieving and be with someone else and start something new and discover something new. Such peace and such grounding. I really respect her. I really do. That is an aspiration for us all. The first snow. What's left of the winter snow. I've been trying to avoid the snow, but now there is no way. I'm just going to have to run very, very quickly till I reach the other side. Wow, my feet are going quite numb. Oh, oh, ow! Okay, that's pretty much, we made it. Oh, whoa, oh. So you're probably wondering, why am I walking barefoot? And well, it's because, well, of course, there is an element of endurance. It's toughening the feet. It's making them strong. But there's a lot more than that. There's texture. There's the feeling of everything my foot touches. This rock, for example. It has a coarseness to it, and it allows my foot to perfectly mould itself around it, so that every part of the underneath of my foot has contact and a sensation. And when I touch this ground with all the needles on the pine needles, there's warmth. It's a temperature change, and it's soft, and it has a slight spring to it, and that spring translates to me an emotion. It makes me want to run, skip, be light in my feet. And then snow. I wouldn't say the snow is my favourite part. This is a little bit more endurance. It's cold. It makes my feet go numb. It makes me want to get to the other side of the snow pile as quickly as possible. Things to watch out for when barefoot, though, are, for example, sticks that can pierce the foot, or sharp stones that can rip the foot. So I do carry a first aid kit with everything that I need to carry out a repair on either foot. I think, there's a spiritual element to being barefoot as well. That connecting to the ground. I don't know a lot about earthing, but people have said of the importance of earthing oneself, and barefoot is really the way to do it.
Ooh. I love the sensation of the taller grasses as they drag across my calves. So beautiful. Oh, we live in such a beautiful place. This is such a beautiful planet. There is so much to see. Okay, the act of endurance is taking on a new meaning because the stretches of snow are getting longer and longer. Okay, this is it, but it's really steep, and the drop down is just like down, 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 down. I didn't really think I'm gonna be able to do this. Plus, where it's positioned, it's mostly in the shade, so it's actually possibly going to be icy still. I don't know if there's a way. Another way up and around I could try. Okay, great. Actually, I did find a way around the that snow. Quite a steep climb up some rocks, a scramble, and I'm now above it. There's the snow down there. So I'm just going to continue. Really not far now to the top. Oh, I can't wait. When I get to the top, I'm gonna sit down, put a jumper on because it's getting cold, and have lunch. I brought my classic go-to lunch: cheese, ham, an apple, and water. Normally, I bring a cup of tea, and I really wish I had my tea, but I forgot the thermos at home. Well, okay, not much longer now. Okay, I have to confess that I did not think I was going to make it. There were a couple of times I was just so out of breath because I'm not anywhere near as fit as I used to be. And up here is the